Hello all, this is Zimnala coming at you with another adventure in the Kingdom of Thornwood. Today we're going to be continuing our quest to make it to the end of this mod hack. So this is Shining in the Darkness, Darkness Edition version 1.51, and last time we got kicked out of our journey through the third level, and yeah, it wasn't good, but I mean, we farmed up, we got some new gear. We're gonna go show that dude what's boss. So actually we have a faster way of getting there. So we're just gonna slam bam our medallion. And we're just gonna take it with us. We're gonna go get ourselves past that jerk that kicked us out. Now that thing is I guess you can call him a mini boss, but he's essentially a boss for that floor, so we're gonna make our way past it though. We had otherwise conquered that floor, but I think he always spawns when you try to get through that area, so you can't really walk past him, so we're gonna go kick his ass. He is a semi-regular boss from the end of that floor. Not a boss, but like a mini boss, I guess you could say. So he does come at you about one floor earlier than you normally would, and yeah. But if I planned everything right, I think we're going to take significantly less damage from any kind of melee attack, so yeah, I think we're going to do okay. We did also learn that melee attacks from Milo are not really going to do much damage, so don't bother buffing up his attack. You'd probably be better off healing. But, yeah. Oh, so these guys can warily back up too? I actually didn't know that was in their list of abilities, so I guess let's put that in there for them. So warily backing up gives them a higher chance of actually leaving, so that's actually pretty funny. That's in their list. But yeah, we do have a major portion of the enemies from the next floor mapped out too, from the few forays up we've had to go through to get treasure chests, so the actual cataloging of what they can do will go by a little bit faster than it otherwise would. So the mod developer said that the estimated level you'll be at when you win is probably around 65, and we'll see how that tracks. It doesn't seem like it's too far-fetched at this point. Whether it's actually balanced to the point where that's feasible, that's a different matter, so I do think I may have min-maxed a few ways that the average player might not, but we'll see. I guess people could use their own judgment. Yeah, we are taking some incidental damage from magic, but we can't mitigate that with defense, so that's to be expected. Hello, Sea Stallion. Yeah, those black bones, man, they're not normally that tough, I think. I believe that they have had their stats buffed out a little bit. So, yeah, that's a dead end. So we've gotten all the treasure on this floor that we can reach currently, so we'll have to come back one time when we get the prison key, but other than that, I think we're pretty set on this area. We'll also end up taking a tour of all the trials to get their items, because they'll have more barrier rings for us in that Mithril, so we'll have some more options. But I do foresee us diving into floor 4, so we will take the shortcut. We actually have plenty of extra magic. We also have 2 magic rings to restore magic, so I don't envision magic being our problem going forward. But like, I'll be honest, anything more than like 1 or 2 magic rings is pretty much just patting yourself on the back, because you probably aren't gonna run out of mana on floors unless you're like spamming like heal level 4 or something, and if that's going on, you have an entirely different problem going on. Like, you're just fighting way outside your league usually. But I guess it is possible that the balance of the game would require that, so let's not entirely write that out. But yeah, if you have to rely on that to get past magic damage, I do seriously think that you may need to level up more. Or maybe just avoid fighting entirely and just run from everything and get to the end. I guess it doesn't matter what enemies you fight as long as you beat the boss. In one sense of the word, but we'll see how the balance is. Like, I do like fighting my way through, but I mean, if it gets ridiculous, it gets ridiculous. And I guess that will be a balanced answer of its own. I mean, the little bit we've seen of floor 4 does seem to intimate that maybe it's a little overtuned, because our equipment is essentially already maxed out for most characters and they are still getting manhandled, so we'll see how it feels like on floor 5. Like, I think floor 4 won't be the big problem. I don't know how floor 5 is going to be. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But at this point, as long as enemies are already casting like level 4 magic, they can't get any stronger magically. So any increase in strength is going to be physical. So we can mitigate that with barrier rings if we've learned. It does feel a little like cheaty to do it that way, but it also is a problem to get punked around for too long. So I'll do what it takes to push through in a reasonable manner, but I could definitely stack up on barrier rings and probably walk through any amount of melee damage, so we will see how we feel about it. I do rather suspect that any more than 3 barrier rings on a character will make them immune to physical damage, so no, none of my characters currently have 3, by the way. The most that any of them have is 2, but you'll probably notice that none of the enemies on this particular floor can do it, outside of maybe that black bone, so it's also notable that our main character gained like 1 million defense from stuff. We also added in the mythal armor for people, so they will also have that going on. But we are most of the way towards the second part of this place. Again, we do make a tiny little sojourn up to floor 4, and then it drops down, and then there's a little trek through a little like anti-chamber right before the 4th floor. And that's kind of where that Bone Daddy lives, so we will see how that goes. So this is that little thing. We don't need to fight Soul Thief, so I'm gonna go slow and not get them jumping down on us. We already killed one, so it's not like we can't kill it, it's just we don't need anything it drops. It can live up there. I'm gonna try to get to the boss as much intact as I can, just so that we can push through it. Do we have any information on griffins? I actually do not have any information, so I will defend. I suspect they do like blast, yeah, and flap. This is essentially blast, but a different name. And it's not too damagey, so yeah, it can savagely flap. It is just a stronger version of the standard flap, but I don't think we're in too much trouble from it. So we can put that in the list. Savage flap. I'll give it another chance. I don't know how many more things it's gonna have, but it has the ability to run. That's exciting. Good for you. Come. As you can see, we didn't really get all that beat up by trying that, so if it seems like a reasonable group, I might give that a shot for some enemies, but I'm definitely not going to make it a priority going forward, so I feel like this is going to be more difficult. And honestly, a lot of this is going to actually change over time anyway, so there's going to be like a new version of the mod coming out after I finish it, so these guys have critical hits. I think I have that written down for them. I do not actually, but yeah, they can cast, they can do critical hits, so keep that in mind. Looks like a lot of these enemies can just do that, so on a critical hit they can do damage. But it is worth noting that they did attack the main character, who does not have 2 of the barrier rings currently. So let us go up with rope. Let's get this out of our inventory. We do not need this. Yeah, the only real downside to my strategy is we don't have very many inventory slots, so while that could be a minor problem, the thing is we don't actually need very many more items, so it's kind of like a multi-stage thing. So we don't have any data on what these Dream Puffs can do, so we're definitely going to focus more on these guys, because they can summon some neat zombies and we don't want to deal with that, so we're not going to give them too many chances. And we have already given them chances before, and they didn't really seem to want to do much, so if they have abilities, it's not really a lot. We also don't know what these guys can do. We will give them a chance to do 1 round of combat. I think they probably critical hit. Maybe they call for friends. They're certainly not doing much right now. But we will give them a couple rounds, because I don't think they can hurt us, because everything that they do is physical. They certainly aren't seeming to want to do much right now, so I do think they're all just dead as hell right now, so that's something to keep in mind. So this section isn't overly long. It does kind of just wind around and lead toward the stairway. I am going to cast a vision pretty soon just so I can get an idea of where the demarcation is for this bone daddy. So we might be close enough, or we might still be a ways away. Okay, yeah, we're getting close to it. Are we close enough to see it now? Yeah, so it's right around that corner coming up. So that is going to be where we basically got ambushed. So we're going to make sure we're in good health going into that. Well, they decided not to do anything useful, so they have set their fate into motion. So yeah, like right here is where we're going to get attacked, so we're going to make sure we're in good health and push past it. Unless it's just a chance, and then I kind of just overblew this, but I mean, we're being cautious. We did actually get kicked out pretty thoroughly. Pyro good. Pyro's a little hurt. We'll top off. Cool. We are victorious with that one. Yep, here's our friend, Mr. Bone Daddy. Let us think how we want to do this. So, our main character has a decent chance at critical hits and can do damage anyway. I'm gonna cast Quick on us. This will actually have a decent benefit, I hope. And we're gonna boost up the main character. So yeah, as you can see, it couldn't do as much damage, but it's the critical hits that are gonna get us, so we gotta keep on top of that. Hopefully we're fast enough to do something, though, so I am gonna boost up Milo next, and hopefully that actually lets him do damage, because we did gain a few levels, but oh cool, he can just miss. Yeah, see, he can barely do damage, but he still can contribute a little bit, so we're gonna wear this thing down. We are going to kill this thing with impunity. We're gonna get some bolts in here. So she can do some damage with Bolt. It does do 120, so it's better than any other magic spell. It actually it'll do more damage than any of our other characters currently, unless the main character decides he wants to actually step up and critical hit. So 3,500, 2,600. That is an experience value and hit thing it can have. Okay. So this bad boy, he can critical hit. He can also... He also has double attack. He doesn't have single attack, he'll always go twice. So that would put him between the Skizar and the Soul Thief. So we will put them in that spot. But we did make it by. Let us make sure we heal. I think there's a chance you get attacked by several, but that might be the end of floor 4, not the end of this floor, so... But we don't need to have a worse time than necessary, so as you can see, he guarded the entrance to this floor. So, nope, wrong item. We will use this. So now our spot is saved for this location. And we can actually explore. So, we didn't get punked this time. I do think that's the most dangerous of the transitions, although what I will say is there is a bunch of bone same guys at the end of the next transition as well, but you'll be higher level, you'll hopefully have better equipment, it should be less of a problem. So this is a new enemy we haven't seen. Let us write down these guys. So Demonica. We will write them in. These might be the first ones of this floor, so they can drop for us Dark Scimitar apparently, which is a cursed item we probably do not want, but we will definitely check out if we get. But I'm not going to make one, I'm not going to go hunting dark blocks for that, unfortunately. I'm not going to give enemies on these floors quarter to attack us. They can figure their lives out at this point. So they have the ability to run. That's nice. So there's 3 enemies we killed. 4,200, 1260. If I fight a single one, I might let it try. I don't feel like a burgeoning need to let them try otherwise though. So there's 420 gold, which is nice. There is 1,400 EXP. So they're kind of on the lower end. They're considered weaker than some of the other enemies we fought already in the previous floor, but that does put them below the dragon spawn, so they are at the bottom of this totem pole currently. It does look like enemies can't easily hurt even the main hero now that they have gotten better equipment. There is another bit of the light armor set on this floor that we're going to try for. The light armor. There's also the light sword if we can find that as well. And the prison key will actually enable us to go get the final set piece, the shield. Which is actually on floor 3, so we'll have to go back for that, but when you get the prison cell door key, we're gonna go on a journey anyway to get stuff, so I do think it's likely we'll have to leave and come back a few times, because this place is probably gonna be rough magically. It's more that enemies will get a chance to cast magic on us, then the magic will do more damage than we're used to, but it does all eat into your magic supply. It does look at least that we're gonna keep steadily gaining levels, so that'll work. Or at least it looks like Pyra and Milo working together will sort out most basic enemy groups, at least if it's just one group. Now when they start having multiple types of groups, then some of them will start surviving and we'll get a chance of some of the things they can do. Or if they just want to be fast and just like go ahead of everyone, they have a chance to, I suppose. Yeah, we already know what these guys can do. They're from the previous floor. There is a mini boss that spawns from those water that could be rough. Here's a new enemy, warbirds. What do they do for us? So these guys can give us healer fruits. That's exciting. Let's give them a nice entry somewhere, probably a little bit past the dragon spawn, but we'll see. That is warbird. Alright, what do you guys got going on? Probably about the same as the other ones. They probably cast like blast or flap their wings or something exciting like that. Maybe critical hits. So far they're not doing much. I didn't notice critical hits, multiple hits so far, but I wasn't looking that close. Yep, so it has Savage Flap like the other guys. I did suspect that. Okay, what did they give us for EXP? Let us rate that value down. 6,400. And they each give us 500 gold, so they're actually gonna be at the same EXP value as the dragon spawn, but less gold, so I'll actually put them below them in the hierarchy. It's like their stats are just slightly worse, so that's fine. Okay, that puts them there. Okay, now let's make sure we didn't get turned around while we were doing stuff. Chitter chatter. Okay. So they also cast Quick level 2. So it is worth noting that Milo and Pyra actually do have a bonus against blast damage, which would be the wind damage. So actually something that they have on is protecting them from that. That is something that Zim is not holding. So let's look at what they have that they aren't. It might actually be that the hoods do in fact have the wind defense. And it looks like it's 50%, so let's write that for the Mithril hood. That's vanilla. It does normally give a defense boost for that. Wind defense, 50%. So what is interesting is if you actually do have items that both give it, it will just continue stacking. Like you could get down to like 10% damage if you just keep stacking it, but usually there aren't that many things that do that, so we will probably not get to see that. There is also a mini boss that can be a problem. It is called something or other hand. We're not going to worry about it. There's some on floor 4 as well. So if we fight them, we fight them. Hello, Skizzer. I can't believe you wanted to play up here, but I mean, it is their dream apparently, so we will definitely indulge a little bit. We'll focus on the warbirds, because we do know what they can do. We'll give the other guys a chance to do something other than run away like they did last time, so... Well, they do have multiple hits. I did just notice that. They have a chance at single attack and double attack, so we can write that down for them. So I guess going twice could be something if you haven't maxed out defense. So those are abilities that they have. Okay, they also have critical hits. That does raise their threat level a bit, so that's probably not bad. That's a completely useless item for us, unfortunately. Since we have very few item slots, if I do find myself full on items, I might actually dip out and just do that. So clearing this floor might be a little slow, but I do feel like leveling up's not bad for us either, because one of the bigger threats hitting us is that we don't go first, so... a few levels would greatly help that. Oh, so sea stallions are up here too. I thought this one was normally the sirens. That's fine. I'll fight sea stallions over sirens. I'll tell you that one for free. All right. But sirens are pretty much a mini boss of the 5th floor. They are usually not very fun to fight. They are problems. Here's a new friend, a Viper. They are probably similar to the other ones we fought. I'm gonna guess these are slightly between Dragon Spawn and Troglodyte, but we will find out as we fight them. What do they drop for us? Healer fruit, so yeah. I imagine that they have the whole dancing thing still, that's fine. Well, the first one didn't do it. He can poison. They can do poison hit. Oh, that's different. But they do poison hit. They go multiple times too. They're not dancing, so maybe they don't dance. You guys even dance? I don't know if it's always double attack, but I'll just write it down for now. I will start counting them after I spent more time doing the entry? 5100 and 1500? I spent more time making the entry than watching like the specifics, so that is 500 gold each. But that is, in fact, 1700 EXP, so that is the correct spot for them on the list. So while the gold is a little less, the gold doesn't determine it, it's the EXP. So I use the gold as a tiebreaker, but hey, Doomstaff. Yeah, we'll drop one of these things for a Doomstaff because we'll look at it. What is this? Steel Whip? Sure. Let us throw away this right here. We don't need Herb Water. We also don't need the Steel Whip, but I think the Steel Whip sells better. So yeah, we're gonna go back to town. We're gonna experiment with this. So let us see who could wear this. Main character cannot use it. We will pass this thing around a little bit. So you could wear it. It would be 150 attack. Let's make an entry for it. I'm pretty sure this is still cursed, by the way. So, and I don't think it's as good of a curse as the one that just tangles you up. I think this one has a different problem. Like maybe you can't cast spells or something. Let us give this to Pyra. Let's see if she can use it. I'm gonna guess that's a yes. But obviously we can't switch because we already have a cursed item on. So let's give that back to Milo. Let's get in a let's get that on. And let's get into a fight. Let's get into a better fight. I want a fight where I have to fight more than one thing. Okay, so this will let us test a couple of things. This will let us... First of all, we're just going to attack the big group. We'll see if it's a whip. It is a whip. Let's see if it lets us cast spells. What does it do when used? Okay, so the magic hits everyone with level 4 Blaze. I didn't see another downside to that. Alright, so let's attack again and see how that goes. Because so far that looks like that might be an improvement over the Hex one, maybe slightly. Let's take a look at that. It does less damage than the Hex Whip, but also doesn't seem to be entangling, so... Let me look up what that weapon's normal curse is. So supposedly it makes you take half the damage you do to enemies. But it did not do that. So I'm going to test again to make sure that it's not like hitting us when we do it. So it's not actually cursed, it's just not cursed. So, yeah. So it's cursed in that we can't take it off, but this might actually be a buff over what we were using. So the Great Flail is only 80 attack, so... While it can attack a couple extra times, we actually weren't doing significant damage to some enemies, so... This might actually be just an improvement for Milo. It definitely has been tweaked to not have its downside, so that's interesting. So we can write down that it is a whip, and that so far seems inactive. Okay, so let us in fact sell what we currently had. And that's why you test items when you get them. Alright, we also got the steel whip. Let's sell that. Okay, let's heal up and head back in. I think that will just let us break through defenses a little better, because he was starting to fall off a little with his melee attacks. Honestly, if we find a second one, that might be a good thing to give to Pyra, because the problem with the Hex Whip is that you can only attack for one round and then you're tied up, but it does an absolute butt ton of damage the first round. So this might just mitigate that problem if we get another one. But I think Milo is more beneficial than this for him to have it currently. Nope. With the other downside being that you have to say no to this priest over and over and over again. Yeah, and we also wouldn't get our multi-hit of the flail part of the Great Flail, but you know, honestly, 3 hits at 30 is much less than 1 at 100, so sometimes multiple hits aren't better than 1, so... That's an ability I didn't know you had. It's not dangerous, so it's fine, but we can put that on their list. So they have... I have an entry for these guys? Am I tripping? Alright, let me double check to see where we're at. Living armor. I may not actually have an entry for these guys. How did I skip past these guys? Alright. We've definitely been seeing them for a hot minute, so we are going to make an entry for them. I must have been tired last night. Oh wait, no. I fused them with a different one. Oh. You know what I did? I mixed them up with the Living Dead and they both drop the same items. So, they both can drop the Steel Lance. That's why I mixed them up. I understand. So they don't have their own entry. Let's fix that. So these guys can cast Quick, level 2. They can cast Slow, level 2. What kind of EXP do they give? 6,000, so 1,500 and 450. Yeah, they have a very similar name to the other ones, so yeah, I must have been overly tired last night. But problem mitigated. They have their own spot again. They will be happy. Cool. Did I mix up and map things out weirdly? Nope, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, the beginning of this floor seems a little weird to me. That's why I always have to double check a couple times. Yeah, there's some cases where we're gonna do less damage, but other cases where we're gonna do more, so... Yeah, if we really want another Doomstaff, I could also basically force the Necromancers to give it to me by using Muddle on them. And that might not be the worst choice because, yeah. But I do feel like when I get the next flail, that probably it is an increase as well from this, so I feel like I don't need another one. And that makes sense. So this is probably good enough to get there. And like that flail can only be gotten by basically getting them from golems, so they're another enemy on this floor anyway, so both of these things are going to merge together anyway. But obviously, if we just get handed another one, I will utilize it until that point. Because, like, if you have a real fight, like, her, it's better for her to usually cast Bolt 4 anyway, so... It does usually outdamage her melee capacity, so... She just doesn't gain enough attack to really shine in the melee department past certain niche cases where she's got the whip for a while like this. But as you can see, it kind of falls off on the end of the 3rd floor to the 4th floor, so it's like a temporary like overpoweredness. These are Mandragoras, huh? Alright, we'll get an entry for you. You can cast level 4. I'm gonna put them after Viper, so Mandragora. These guys normally look like the Chimeras, if I remember correctly. What can they give us? They can give us dark blocks, so this is our source of dark blocks if we want to hunt them down. So they cast Blaze level 4. And we fought 2 of them, so we'll see what they're pretty fast too. They also cast heal level 3 and they have 2 or 3 attacks. Okay, that's 2 more abilities that we've seen. Enemies are starting to get tanky enough that maybe healing would be a bit of a problem, so 2200 and 1160. So that just means 1100 EXP, which shouldn't be. Did the first one run away? The first one might have run away. That doesn't sound right. But maybe they did. Well, in case that's true, I'm going to do that. We'll find out. I think my first one might have run away on me while I was writing that list. Because otherwise their EXP would be too low for this player. So we will make sure we're not twisted up in our exploration. This map is a little weird in my opinion, so I do check the map a few times. It has tons of like offshoots that go random places. And there is a whole side optional place that basically has the light. I think it's the armor. So we definitely want the armor. So we are taking less damage from Blaze level 4, so something is giving us defense against that. Is it the barrier rings? We're definitely taking a lot less magic damage. I'm noticing that now. So 6600 and 1740. So my EXP was correct, I wrote down the gold wrong. Okay, that makes sense. Let us sort that out. I knew something seemed wrong with what I wrote, so yeah, they give 580 gold. But otherwise, their placement on this list was right. Cool. But yeah, something we have on is giving us defense, and Milo had more defense than anyone else, so let's see what's going on with their equipment. So Milo has 2 barrier rings, so these might also be defense against magic, so maybe it had nothing to do with the mithril and everything to do with the barrier ring. So yeah, so maybe these are magic defense too, so they're busted a second way. So I'm going to tentatively put that onto the list. If so, that's also a major mitigation of magic damage, so stacking those up would make you a lot safer just in general, so maybe that is still the play. We do know we could carry several more, so that is still something we could choose to do. Pretty much the limitation on how many we can carry is determined by how many key items we have to hold on to. Let's make sure we didn't go down anywhere weird. Alright, these guys like to kick around. Yeah, let's boost up, because we no longer have the flail, so the one that gets the most benefit out of it is... Oh, you can heal yourself. I didn't know you could do that. That could make you take a little longer, but you're not really that dangerous, so it's fine. So maybe some of these end bosses did get a little something, because I don't remember this guy healing. Hey, look at that, we got a mithril ore. We can make something if we want it. So this right here is the first of... This is the place that basically leads to where the armor is. So Deathbringer. I think these guys are usually like, I want to say they look like shamans kind of, but they're kind of probably demons instead. We've already met a couple of iterations of them. I'm gonna guess these guys are somewhere between Mandragora and the Troglodytes though, so I'm gonna put a list here for Deathbringer. These guys could give us Miracle Herbs, which isn't gonna do anything for us, but it does give you a chance to heal someone if you need to. So, it could be worth having if you have a dangerous final encounter with the boss. So there's 3 of them. We'll just kill them with impunity and hope that nothing bad happens. They cast Burst level 3. They're not very sturdy. So yeah, we'll write down that they have Burst level 3. Let's try to get their EXP in gold. That is 7,500. Well, it's easier when it does this. So 2,500 EXP and 550 gold. Easy peasy. So that I did put them in the right spot. They are between those 2 monsters. So there is a mini boss in some of these treasure chests called Hand Eater, and I do believe that the next treasure chest is one. So here's the second of the these, and the this little area is pretty messy. So here's the death masks. We never actually managed to kill these guys legitimately last time. We had to run, but I think we are stronger now and we have a better chance of it, so we're going to give it a try. Especially now that our defense has gone up. Both for mana and for otherwise. We didn't have that on the list of things you could do, so that's something. Well, as you can see, they are being a bit of a problem. We might have to run again. Honestly, if we don't like kill off like almost all of these guys, it's gonna be a major problem. Yeah, let's run and heal up. We don't really want to party wipe at this point. These guys might be a little overtuned. Here's the siren that I didn't want to fight, but we will give it a shot. These guys are normally a floor 5 enemy as well, so these guys can be pretty rough. They give us Mithril Hood if they give us a drop. Let's see what you got going on. I'm gonna cast Buff on the hero. They don't do a lot of physical damage to us. I think they got some nasty magic sometimes too, though. Well, not too bad. 3,500 and 2,500. So that's that. That would put it weaker than the Guardian. Okay. No, we won't argue with it, so. Well, that's just a single one of those guys, so we might be able to take them out. We were able to kill troglodytes. Which of these guys is the bigger problem? That is the question. We're gonna focus on the death mask. It's the one that's just caused us. Actually, let's take out the group first. I think we can fight a single one of those no matter what's going on, but they do howl. I don't remember what they summon, but I think it's more of themselves, which could be a problem. So it is worth noting that we did only kill one. So one thing I am going to do is I'm going to buff up the main character in case we need to break through defense. We're not going to get punked around forever, you know? So 2 troglodytes and 1 mask, and I think we're gonna get our actual value for these guys. So let's make sure we're ready to write it down. $87.50 and $33.50. Okay, let's figure out what this is from this. They're $11.50 in gold. And $31.50 in EXP. Okay. So I did have him there, so a couple of these enemies are gonna have to change places now that I look at this. So these guys are stronger than... Well, first of all, we gotta move the hobgoblins up. I had them in the wrong spot to begin with, so yeah, they're gonna go up here. And the meat golems as well, zombies as well. We don't know what golems give us, so I don't have a handle on where their spot's gonna be, but yeah. So that leaves only a few enemies left to even see on this floor, so we've seen most of everything. Yeah, let's make sure our situation is good, because this corner can be a little rough. I'm not gonna fight more of these unless I have to, because they are just a massive waste of our resources overall. These guys start sleeped, which is probably real bad for them. We don't know what they can do, but we also don't really want to know what they can do. They get 2 attacks. And they sometimes only get one attack, so that is what that tells me. Some of them were able to attack after waking up and some of them were not, so... And I will make a note that they start asleep. For some reason. I think that's funny, but... At least they didn't do anything bad to us. So golems we actually want their item for, so I'm gonna try muddling them. Assuming we still got item slots. Let's make sure we do have item slots. Okay. But yes, we do want their item, so muddling them is probably the fastest way to do it. So they have Massive Boulder as an ability. They drop for us Super Flail, by the way. So yeah, we are going to continue focusing on these bad Larrys. We are going to try muddling again because I really want to get their item. So yeah, they're both muddled for what it's worth. They might not give us the item, but they could. But they don't use abilities when they've been muddled, so we can't figure out what they do based on that anymore. But the one thing you can tell is whether they have multiple attacks, because they'll try to do their stuff multiple times if they can. So that's the only ability that shines through. And if we get lucky, they'll just hand us their weapon, or they'll just kill themselves. I guess that's an option. So we did kill 2 troglodytes in one of these, so let's get their EXP value. 8,100 and 2,900. Okay, so let us figure that out, and that'll be probably the last of this region, other than the actual boss. Unless at least I think that's the last of the enemies. So these guys only give us 700 gold on their own, so they're not very rich. And they have 2,500 EXP, so they're also not considered very strong as well, so that's fine. So let's move them up to where they go, which is honestly right around the same level as the Deathbringers, but they're like between them and the Hobgoblins. Okay, we got the hierarchy sorted out, I think. That is sorted. Cool. Don't really want to fight this group. I want to fight more golems. Come on, give me more golems. There we go. That's like perfect. Yeah. We're just gonna try to muddle these guys. give us your item. You know you want to. Well, you gave us your treasure. That's all we wanted. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So we are gonna have to go back to town to sort that out anyway, so... Unfortunately, that's a priority over what we're currently doing, so we will come back to this corner. Because, like, our inventory is full now, but, yeah. Sorry, guys, we don't need to fight you if we don't need to. So let us escape. That is probably an improvement over what we currently had going on. Let's get out of here. So yeah, what do we want to make? We are probably going to make, at this point, Mithril Shield. Because what else could we want at this stage? Like, he's gonna have all of his stuff. We have everything but shields covered, and maybe defense is more useful than I thought. We'll find out. But we'll at least make the shields because that we have everything else we want. So if we don't want to use it, we'll just basically sell it. It's not gone forever, we just have to buy it again. So let's make an entry for the Mithril Shield. I do think that all of them can use it, probably. We'll pass it around, though. So it's 26,000 gold. It is all made for an entry. So one thing we are going to do is go get our items uncursed and try out the new flail. So I'm also going to make an entry for that flail. I'm not going to assume that they're the only character that can use it either though, so we're going to do a full test on this. Yeah, we're gonna be heading in anyway, so we're gonna find out. So let's pass the flail around first. We're going to try putting that on. Main character. They cannot use it. As expected, let us give this to Pyra to test out. Can you use it? You sure cannot. Okay. That is expected. We can move this to Philo. Let's see what this gives you as an option. So this is actually more damage than the Doom Staff anyway. This is 175. Not too shabby. So it is not for the hero. It is for Milo. And not for Pyra. 175 attack. This does mean we're also gonna probably give my Pyra this Doom Staff like we were talking. We're gonna test this out to see what it does on an enemy that has more than one group. So we can do that. I guess we could first see if it's a whip. It probably is. I guess this wouldn't tell us if it's a whip, but it does at least hit more than one target, which a flail's going to, so that's not a real test. We need to have different groups. They'll oblige us sooner or later. Here we go. We're gonna attack the small group. So it attacks once, twice, 2. Okay, so it has at least 3 extra hits as well as that. I think we're gonna have to go deeper to actually get a better sense of it, but we do at least know that it functions as either a whip or a flail, so we at least have the multi-hit determined. We'll need something sturdier to like test how it functions, but let's put on our Doomstaff, which will lower our attack, but I think it'll be more utility oriented. We're not like one-shotting the enemies on that floor anyway, so they're actually sturdy enough to last a few rounds. So I think this is going to make an important distinction. Let us pick up our shield. We're gonna assume everyone can use it. Let us sell off the Hex Whip for now. First of all, I'm gonna see what this sells for just to get a value, but I don't want to actually sell it. So this is also the same value as the Hex Whip. This is also 30,000. So let's write to that for a value. Okay. What else can we sell? So I think it's pretty likely we're going to want to give at least one of our characters the shield. It'll depend on when we start having problems with that. But let us see what the stats are on it first. Let us make a determination on that. So as you can see, that's a considerable one, but the problem is that we have barrier rings on, so we're actually going to have to shuffle things around a little. So we're going to have to take the barrier ring off to get a proper reading on this value. So the answer is 130. It is 130 defense. Yeah, that looks right. So that is 80 more defense than... No, it's 90 more defense than the Madu. So that is something to keep in mind. I actually think we're not going to need this for this floor. And I'm gonna just say that's because I think our defense is actually currently high enough. I don't think melee attacks are a problem currently. So I'm going to actually end up selling it for now, and I will come back for it. But that's what we're going to be making with Mithril going forward, is at least 2 shields. But I'm selling it to keep my inventory slots open. I'm also thinking about selling one of the magic rings, just to make space. because we can get him again if we want to. So let's give him back one of his rings. Yep. Did we heal up? Let's make sure. We sure didn't. So yeah, let's come heal up. Then we'll save it and we will head back in again. We're gonna try to get to the armor next. Oh, well that isn't actually what I meant to do. I was autopiloting, I'll admit it. It's okay, we're not done with the session anyway, so I won't lose track of whether I took it off or on. Wait a second. Oh, wait a gosh darn second. Oh, okay. I thought the magic ring was adding to my attack. I was like, wait a second. I took that ring and I thought my attack went down. Okay. I'm tripping. That's what's happening. Do not mind me. Okay, so yeah, we're going to go back in. But yeah, differences definitely trigger my notice almost immediately. That's how my brain's wired. I basically grew up on like I Spy and similar things, and yeah. So anything that stands out to me, I definitely notice immediately. Probably should have been counting. But definitely is acting like a flail. It's not just a whip, so. I guess they also weren't really sturdy enough to count that though, so. We still need something sturdier to do that. I think it might still be a whip and a flail though. That seems pretty likely. As for how many hits it does afterwards, that I do not know. I'm sure we'll have chances to find out though. Do these guys do anything I wouldn't want them to do if I was to test this? What do I know about these guys? I know they can do poison hit, so yeah, we'll just let Milo wail on them, and everyone else will just defend. I know they can poison hit, so that was the whip. 1 extra hit, 2 extra hits, 3 extra hits, 4 extra hits, 5 extra hits. So it at least does 5 hits. It also seems to have a higher critical hit rate. So that's actually makes this quite good. So it is a whip. And a flail with at least 5 hits. I haven't pinned down if it's always 5 hits. Like the last one was 2 to something extra hits. So I never actually properly pinned that down. That's partially because there wasn't anything sturdy enough to test it on, and also partially because it did definitely act pretty inconsistently, so I'm not entirely sure what was up with it. But it did work decently as a weapon, I can tell you that, even if I could never figure out exactly how it worked. Do I have these guys sorted? I don't have any abilities that they can do, so I guess give them a chance. We'll focus on the Viper. So Dad did 3 extra hits. So I guess that's part of the range. So it's 3 hits to 6 so far. So we will write that down. If I see more things outside the variation, then yes, I will write that down as well. So they cast Blaze level 4, that's an ability. These guys are also pretty sturdy as well. That is something to note. Cerberus. Oh, here's a new enemy. Alright, where do we think these guys are? These guys might be in the middle. They drop fire swords, so yeah, let's slap these guys in here. I think they're probably right around Mandragora level. There seems to be a lot around that level, but they will tell us when they give us their values. I'm gonna guess they do fire. That's the most likely thing with the name. I don't feel very threatened though, so let's just let Milo go wild. They probably have multi-hits too. Yep, Blaze level 4. So they definitely seem to have double attack going on. So 2,000, 1360, 1360. So the 2,000 EXP and 1360 for 2. So that is 680 for gold. Okay, that actually puts him a little different than where I thought, but not by much. Okay, entry settled. Let us heal up and then figure out our orientation on where we are heading. We're gonna head up to that top left corner that we were at because that's where the armor usually is. It was through a couple of spinners though, so there is... Oh, are we just going a different way than usual? Cool. So we're gonna have to turn around. So we actually went too far down the regular path. Because yeah, you can easily go right past where the armor is, and as you can see, we kind of did that, so we're gonna go back for it. So we didn't get a good handle on what these guys could do. They did like burst level 3 last time. But we're going to let Milo wail on these and kind of like try to get a count and let them do their thing. Pyra took so much less damage there that I'm kind of curious on what she has going on that other characters do not. So I did notice that she has the magic ring in her inventory. So what is going on? So is it just this? Is this the defense item? Is the magic ring the defense item? So maybe I had it pegged a little wrong anyway, so maybe these are the defense items. Kinda makes sense. I doubt it works against the final boss's stuff though, so take that with a grain of salt. I don't think there's an element that protects you from demon breath. So this is probably the turnoff that I missed. Because like that little back area is a pretty complex set of nonsense. Of which we did about half of. We did half of the mapping of it. So I guess we have a reason to boost Milo again because he does do the multi-hit. 2 hits. But just the critical hit increase actually makes him much more worth it because, yeah. That's what you need to actually pierce defenses, is just get lucky with critical hits, to be honest. As silly as that is to say, sometimes you just gotta get lucky. Yeah, so this leads to the other spin around, which is where we were at. We're not gonna give them too many chances. We already got like a good idea of what they could do. So this guy goes once. So the magic resistance seems kind of arbitrary a bit because, yeah, because we took a lot less damage from a burst, but not from fire, for instance. So it's definitely not all magic. That was 5 extra hits, if I counted it correct. We are also most of the way back where we were at, so let us figure out which one was the one we didn't go, so... So yeah, left first, and then we will do the other ones later. Because yeah, this is the deeper part that leads to a second one of the spinners. Oh, Lancerot's a new enemy. Where do we think these guys are? Every time I think I've seen the end of them, I just haven't. So these guys are usually stronger than golems, and they drop Miracle Herb. we'll put a spot for them right there. So these guys' usual claim to fame is that they have ridiculously high defense. That's all. And they hit decently hard, but that was their main thing that they did. Well, they'll get another chance to do something, so we'll find out. They can duck. Well, they decided to duck. So yeah, that's an ability. It does raise their defense, making them mildly annoying, but not a problem. So yeah, like everything around them is just defense usually. They sure did. Oh, they can duck twice. They have multi-hit attack. So they do double attacks and single attacks because we saw both from this guy. That's funny. Double attack, but all you do is duck. Okay, let's see if we can get their values though. We killed one of these guys and two of the troglodytes, so 8,200 and 2,950. So that's 750 on 8 gold, so that is settled. Now how about EXP? That puts him at 2,600. Alright, that puts him a cut above a lot of these other guys, but not by a lot. So yeah, we'll get their spots. They go below the hobgoblins, actually. Okay, well they are settled in their spots. Hopefully that's the last of the normal enemies. So which of these areas had the treasure chests? It's to the left. So yeah, I think that some of these are actually mimics. They're called the hand eaters, so we're gonna have to fight. Heal ring is a new item. I don't think this adds stuff usually. Usually it's a use item that just heals you like a heal level 2. But what I do notice is that our defense seems even higher than normal, so that could be a thing. Unless I'm just tripping. So let's give that to Pyra and see if I'm tripping. Because if that's just a better barrier ring... Nope, it is just another barrier ring. So what percentage would that be? That's a 10% increase, I think. Or is that just another barrier ring? There's a way of testing it. If it's better or worse than barrier ring. I'm gonna trade a barrier ring for the heal ring. So bam, we're at 635. Well, as you can see, it did not work the way I expected, so yeah. So we're at 704 with the heal ring. So we will figure out how much of a difference it makes. So it does make a difference, but it's not as much as a barrier ring. That is what we've determined. So 6. So 704 divided by 635 is 10%. So the answer is about 10%, give or take. So let's write that down. So now we know heal ring is like a weaker version of the barrier ring. I don't know if it has another ability, but what we can do is decide who gets that. So Pyra's got that right now, but maybe I want that to go to the main character because they suffer a little bit from this. So let's see how our values are. Let's see if they're pretty even now. 613. Kind of. She's now the lowest, but that's probably fine. She's usually the quickest to catch up anyway. Here's our first of the hand eaters. We can make an entry for them. They're kind of a mini boss. Do I think they're stronger than Guardians? I do think they're in the middle. I think that they are probably going to be a 4,000 enemy. What do they give us? Black box. That is kind of a joke item. But yeah, like usual, I'm gonna boost up Milo. Milo should be able to kill this thing. It probably has abilities, but I don't remember. It probably won't live long enough, so that's 2 extra hits and it's dead. So 3,500, 3,500, okay. It still puts it where I put it though, it just didn't have more XP like I thought it would. Which is fine. As you can see, it wasn't really souped up or anything, so it probably was not actually buffed like I thought it might be. I do expect there to be at least one more of these. These also are on the next floor as well, so let's just continue buffing Milo. Three hits. So yeah, you get 3 extra hits minimum so far. So I've not seen a 2-hit one, so that's how it's better than the previous one, is that its lowest seems to be at least 3 extra hits. So I guess the way I could say it is it's an inconsistent flail. So Frost Armor is a new armor we haven't had. I doubt anyone can use it, but we'll check. Oh, you can actually use it. It is a defense decrease though. So we will hand this around and see what people can do with it. So she can also wear this. Yeah, they could all wear it. So what does it give for stats? We're not gonna be able to tell unless we shuffle around some things. So I'm gonna make an entry for it and not worry about the value currently. Because I have to shuffle things around before I can figure that out anyway. So frost armor. So it's probably just somewhere between sun armor and this. But everyone can wear it. Do I have enough slots to figure this out? Very technically, yes. We are gonna have to shuffle some things out. We will be able to sell some of these items as well, like the rune key and that orb when we don't need them anymore. So this gives us 125. So it is very slightly better than the other one. Yeah. I'm gonna imagine it also gives you resistance to ice for what it's worth. I don't really care about that much. Okay, so that's this corner sorted out. We are... I do think that's also the vast majority of the treasure chests here, by the way. But keep in mind, we're also going to pick up one more key item as well, so we're also going to gain another key item, so our slots are going to kind of go up and down, but it's okay. So I do think we sorted out this corner. I think that there's nothing down the other paths. I think that top left corner is actually the end of the level, so we don't have to worry about that area being reached. There is some other stuff with this particular spinner though, so this goes up and left into a hole in the ceiling that we're going to deal with. I don't need to kill more soul thieves though, so I'm not going to bother. These guys are a pain in the ass, so I'm not going to worry about them. This is a spiral that leads to this stupid little path, but we will follow it and get what's behind it. Which is a Grimoire. The last Grimoire we ever have to worry about, so yeah. We'll be able to sell that Orb of Truth. So as you can see, we just got a light blade, which might be something we want to use. So I'm not going to assume we're the only character that can use this, so let's pass this around. As much as you usually are the only person that can use it. So we are also at a problem where we're going to have to, well, shit. I'll have to give that back. We're gonna have to actually go back to town to sell some stuff because we are getting a little overburdened. Just a few too many barrier rings, but it's okay. since we're not going to want to use it, let's figure out what this is worth. So this is... $25,000 in value. Let's figure out what the light sword does for us. I suspect it's probably similar to the storm sword anyway. It probably also does whip damage, but we will confirm. That is, I believe, what I heard. So this is 225 damage. So that is a major jump up. So if I had not actually had the staff, the flail for Milo, I actually would have given him the storm sword because apparently he can use it. But the super flail does actually seem to be an improvement up for him, so. Let's find a nice multi-group. We'll target it with the light sword and see what it does. Not this one. I want one that has more than one group. Thank you. Not this one. I want one that has more than one group. Thank you. I'm gonna see if this is somehow a flail too. That would be funny. But, it's not being super cooperative, but I'm persistent. There we go, this'll work. So yeah, we're going to attack this one and we'll see if we attack the whole group and then see if we attack the other one. Yep, we hit this group. We did not hit the other one, so it is a whip, but not a flail. That is what I expected, that is what I got. Gonna write in the critical rate increases too, because I do remember being told that the sword lines have higher criticals towards the end. Which I did see a couple of times with the last few. It's kind of subtle though, it's not super high. Okay, let us go back out. We are going to clean up our inventory slightly. The problem with getting rid of the orb is we actually need to go through floors 2 and 3. So the easiest way to do that is to go the way you first go through it. So if we get rid of the orb, it'll make getting to a couple of the trials and that harder. Actually, you straight up need the orb to get to the third trial anyway, so I guess we can't quite drop the orb yet. So I guess that's out of the table, so we're just gonna have to run kind of full for a little bit. But once we sort that out, it'll be solved. Cool. But let us restore our MP, let us save it. And then I will probably basically take a little break here, and then we will continue this next time. Because we have a decent portion of this floor left to go. I do feel like we're gonna make it through next stream pretty handily, though. I think we kind of have a handle on this last little bit of this. And now I'm gonna go out and talk about how I feel about this current bit of the balance. So yeah, I've been enjoying the balance in this area. It's not too rough. It's actually a little less rough than the last area. I feel like our HP and whatnot levels are catching up. As you can see, I'm getting caught up with some of the details of the more complex items. And I feel like that's just a bit of the experimentation that the mod developer is doing with their abilities, and a little hard to pin down, but I feel like I am sorting it out slowly. As for the monsters, though, I don't feel like they have anything too dangerous at this point, but I do think that the difficulty level is probably slightly higher here than it was in the Battle Edition, although it seems to have mellowed out a bit from the previous floor. So, we'll see how I feel about the 5th floor. I don't really know, but our equipment's taken a massive step up, so that might be a contributing factor on why we're having an easier time as well. Because on the previous floor, I was pretty much capped out and there wasn't too much I could do without grinding out materials, which I ended up doing, so yeah. That's pretty much how I'm feeling about what's going on here, and yeah. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.